Are you aware of what really happened to you?
No, I'm not.
Or can you talk about?
I can talk about it, but I'm not aware of what really happened to me.
Yeah.
All I know is that I went to a friend's birthday party. I gave a friend a birthday party. Hello.
You thought was your friend?
Well, we ain't even gonna touch on that.
Yeah.
I came home like I would normally do.
Part of the problem with this whole thing was, Tamar, is that I was never comfortable with the relationship that you and Mendeecees had in front of me, okay? All of that, you at the music video shoot in your booty shorts, sitting on top of him meeting us up at restaurants every time we met up, I was very uncomfortable with it. And if we gonna tell it, let's tell it all.
If true, that would mean Tamar wasn't just crossing lines. She was openly dismissing Yandy's marriage while allegedly engaging with her husband behind her back. To Funky, this wasn't just mess. It was a setup. He even speculated that Tamar may have intentionally pushed him into speaking out, knowing he's a blogger, knowing he wouldn't stay quiet. And while some may accuse Funky of lying or exaggerating, many people weren't buying that because of the level of detail he provided. Specific places, specific conversations, specific moments. That's not how someone talks when they're guessing. It also didn't help Tamar's case that this isn't the first time her name has been linked to someone else's man. That history made people even more inclined to believe Funky's version. In the end, Funky says he warned her repeatedly, "Clear my name, or I'll tell the truth." She didn't. She kept shading him, kept playing victim, kept acting like she barely knew Mendeecees. And now, here we are. Tamar has sent legal threats. Funky says he's not scared. He says court would only mean more receipts under oath. So now the ball is in Tamar's court. Let it go and hope the noise dies down, or take it further and risk everything coming out. Either way, one thing is clear. Funky Dineva is not backing down, and the entire internet is watching to see who cracks first.
Oh, to be honest, I barely even know him.
Okay.
To be honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not like, we're cool, but he's not like my homie. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's not like that. And he just got casted in the film.
You don't get to create a media firestorm, hint at violence, and let someone else take the fall. Tamar went online saying her teeth fell out and that she didn't know what happened, then allegedly had someone put out a video in Miami that Funky says completely contradicted the timeline. He pointed out that the severity of her mouth injuries didn't align with how quickly she appeared healed. To him, nothing added up. Not the story. Not the timeline. Not the receipts. Things escalated again when Tamar reportedly lawyered up and released a statement saying the rumors were hurtful and affected multiple families. She warned that if the speculation continued, someone would be held responsible and hinted at legal action if Funky spoke on her again. But Funky wasn't intimidated. He responded by saying it would take far more than a cease and desist to scare him. Then he took it all the way back to the beginning. Funky claimed the real reason Tamar rushed that music video release was because people had already spotted her and Mendeecees together, and she needed to control the narrative before it blew up. He went even further, directly challenging Tamar to explain whether it was appropriate for her and Mendeecees to be at Ruth's Chris with him rubbing between her thighs under her dress. Funky said he had always been uncomfortable with their dynamic, at the music video shoot, at dinners, every time they linked up. It never sat right with him. Then came one of his most explosive claims. Funky alleges that Tamar and Mendeecees openly discussed him putting out a statement about his relationship with Yandy. He claims Mendeecees even drafted something and Tamar laughed, telling him to rewrite it so it sounded more authentic. And when Funky questioned whether Mendeecees was married, Tamar allegedly brushed it off, saying the marriage wasn't real, that it was just for the show.
Did not get out the car and go upstairs with Tamar when we got back to her house? Because after her and Mendeecees got through kissing in the back of that goddamn car, I figured they wanted to be up there privately. That is why when we got dropped off at Tamar's house, I did not go upstairs. I got in my damn car and went home because you was sitting on his lap in that goddamn Uber and y'all ass was kissing. Okay? And the made me damn uncomfortable.
Did Tamar really say she didn't know Mendeecees like that, yet somehow convinced him to appear in her music video? Yeah. The math wasn't matching, and the internet clocked it immediately. As soon as the interview dropped, people were already warning Tamar that Funky wasn't going to like the way she spoke on him. They told her not to play victim when he finally snapped, because snap he would. And once Funky caught wind of that interview, it was over. That was the final straw. Funky did exactly what he promised to do, saying he would drag Tamar through the pits of hell and back if she ever so much as breathed in his direction again. According to Funky, the reason he didn't follow Tamar back to her house that night was very simple. She wasn't alone. He claimed she was already with a friend who looked like he was more than ready to take care of her, if you know what he means. And that friend, Funky says, was none other than Mendeecees. Yes, Yandy Smith's husband. Funky made it clear that he did not get out of the car and go upstairs with Tamar when they arrived at her house. Why? Because, according to him, Tamar and Mendeecees had already been kissing in the back of the Uber. He says Tamar was sitting on Mendeecees' lap, they were all over each other, and the situation made him extremely uncomfortable. So when the car stopped, Funky claims he did what any sane person would do. He got in his own car and went straight home, leaving them to their privacy. And baby, that was just the beginning of what Funky had to say.
Your lawyers are about to have a whole lot to handle. I told you once and I'm going to tell you again. I'm not one of these new to doing this, baby. I'm 14 years in, been sued by some of the best. Okay, check my lawsuit record. Stayed in court with Sheree, stayed in court with Chris Stokes, stayed in court with XYZ Company, stayed in court with Music Company. And I'm here to let you know, baby, it's going to take more than a little piece of statement on a lawyer's it's going to take more than a little piece of statement on your lawyer's letterhead claiming rumors about an inappropriate relationship to scare.
Now, Tamar didn't have to do this interview. She could have stayed home, kept her secrets, and let the internet keep guessing. But instead, she chose to sit down and clear the air about the questions that were still hanging over that night. During the interview, Tamar talked about attending a friend's birthday party, one she claimed she actually threw herself, and then going home like it was any other normal night. She never said Funky Dineva's name out loud, but let's be real, everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. She painted him as an ungrateful friend, someone she went out of her way for, only for him to allegedly turn around and hurt her in some way. But Funky wasn't the only name hovering in the room. When Tamar was asked about what was really going on between her and Mendeecees, she shut it down hard. She denied any real connection so strongly, you'd think they'd only crossed paths on a film set. According to Tamar, she barely even knew him. She said they were cool, but not close, not friends like that, and definitely not homies, just two people who happened to work together on a project. And that denial? That's exactly where things started getting even more interesting.
I want to know what all the hell going on. I want to know what's going on too. Okay, the lady got on the internet and said she almost died. Now listen, let me just go ahead and get this out the way. Okay, before we even get to the top of the show, I don't know what happened to the lady. Okay, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm talking about Tamar Braxton. I don't know what happened to the lady.
Instead of shutting the rumors down, Tamar treated Funky like a speed bump on her road to more media attention. She continued throwing shade, loudly insisting she didn't need him for anything, while still confirming that something did happen to her that night, something serious enough to require surgery. But what she never did was clear Funky's name. She never told people to leave him alone. She let the internet keep dragging him while she leaned fully into the victim narrative. Over and over again, Funky warned her. He told her plainly that if she didn't want the world hearing the real tea he had on her, she needed to speak up and defend him. Funky made it clear he wasn't the type to back down from a fight. All he asked was simple, for Tamar to go back to her posts and say, "Funky Dineva didn't do anything to me, y'all. I was wrong for not speaking up sooner." That's it. One sentence, and it would have been over on his end. But instead, Tamar seemed to call his bluff. Maybe she thought he would fold. Maybe she thought he'd just let her have her way. So even months after the drama had died down, she brought it back to the surface. She went on the morning hustle with Laurel and brought up her accident all over again, reigniting the conversation and reopening wounds she never bothered to heal in the first place.
I was asking was for you to go back to your stories and put Funky Dineva didn't do anything to me, guys. I was resting. I should have said something earlier. That was all you had to do, and it could have been done with on my end. Even in this very moment, that was all you had to do, and it could have been done.
Just a few months ago, Tamar claimed she woke up in a pool of blood with several teeth missing and no memory of what happened or who was responsible. Almost immediately, speculation ran wild. Because Funky Dineva had been with her the night before celebrating his birthday, people started pointing fingers in his direction. The internet dragged him mercilessly, labeling Funky a woman beater and a terrible friend. As the backlash grew, Funky begged Tamar to clear his name and tell people to back off. But she didn't. And to many, that silence spoke volumes. Tamar has never shied away from attention, whether it's good or bad. In her world, there's no such thing as negative press. Forced to protect himself, Funky finally spoke out. He insisted he had absolutely nothing to do with what happened that night. He made it clear he wasn't involved, didn't know what went down, and shouldn't be blamed for an incident he had no part in. But by then, the damage was already done, and the internet had already made up its mind. Ever since Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva started going at each other, the internet hasn't known who to believe. On one side, Tamar is claiming she nearly lost her life, needed surgery, and heavily implying that Funky had something to do with it. On the other, Funky is flat out denying every accusation, warning Tamar to stop saying his name unless she's ready for the truth about what really went down to hit the internet. But if there's one thing Tamar is going to do, it's keep the spotlight on her. Instead of backing down, she went right back online, throwing shade and rallying sympathy, hoping to turn public opinion in her favor. And just like he promised, Funky didn't stay quiet. He came back swinging, armed with receipts. What Funky is now alleging is beyond shocking. According to him, Tamar's so-called accident had nothing to do with him at all. Instead, he claims it traces back to none other than Mendeecees. Yes, Yandy's husband. And if Funky's telling the truth, this entire situation is way darker, messier, and more explosive than anyone ever imagined. This was the same lithium Brittany revealed in court, the drug her own family forced on her in massive doses so they could later use her behavior against her and tighten their control.